Shout out to all of our international listeners. Yes, you too can become a member. I might have to hit you up for a slightly more postage charge, but please join us, support the underground. kissfm.com.au.
kissfm.com.au.
Hello, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Electronic Show with me, Mike Clark. And we've got a really cool show this week for you with a Frisson Records takeover. So if you love your dark tech, techno, sci-tech, this show is the show for you. So let's jump straight into the interview. Hi, Nathan. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks, Michael. Good. Thanks for having me on board.
No problem. So tell me a bit about yourself. Who are you? What's your origin story?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Nathan, previously also in Fusion as well. So I've been playing out for more years than I haven't, to be fair. So I'm one of the more senior guys in the scene. So I've been playing, since I was like 16 years old. You'll know from the accent that I'm not originally from Australia, although I have been over here now for 4.5 years with no real intent to go back. To be fair, I just love the weather too much over here, and we've got a pretty cool scene going as well.
Where is there? Obviously it's England, but specifically?
So Derby in the Midlands, actually. So right in the centre of the country, the furthest distance from the ocean in every direction, unfortunately. So I moved over here. I was playing over in England for many, many years. I originally started my journey as a clubber in the trance music scene. So used to go to places like Gatecrasher, God's Kitchen, Cream, Fabric, all those legendary iconic clubs that some of them are still around, some of them are not anymore, unfortunately, which is really sad. But yeah, I kind of cut my teeth in that environment, in those super clubs around the late 90s and the early 2000s. And then I moved over to Australia 4 years ago, came over here, and I actually took a break out of the scene for a year because I came over with my family and had to get those guys settled and get stuck into rebuilding their lives over here. And at that point, I actually thought I was going to hang up my headphones, to be fair. And then after a year of being here, when we've been established for a little bit, that itch just came back, where it's like, once you're a DJ or a producer, you'll always be that. There'll always be something in your DNA where you're itching to get back to doing that. And so I came up with a new act, which was called Fusion. And at that point in time, I was actually playing a lot of tech house and producing tech house as well. So that done reasonably well. Had a few successes, had a couple of top 10 charts.
And that's how I first heard of you, was Fusion. I think it was Carpathian. Amazing bunch of tracks. It was yourself and Tom Chiller, the two people that I heard those tracks and just went, wow.
Yes, yeah. That was a slight different one for me, really, when I really started to sort of move towards a darker sound, to be fair. But also around that time, I'd also become friends with Mark Pridmore, who was obviously the label owner, an A&R guy, creative guru, surfboard shaper. He's a pretty creative bloke, but we met up and we actually put on a night together. That was about 3 years ago. So we put on a night together at Capulet in Brisbane, which then became Sub Rosa, which unfortunately just closed due to COVID. They just couldn't weather the storm. But yeah, Mark and I put a party on at Capulet where we brought a guy over from the UK, from Toolroom, a guy called Marcellus, and he's gone on to have shitloads of successful releases from that point. He's really sort of taken off and knocking it out the park. I was really interested in Mark's label at the time and was sending him demos, but they weren't really what Frisson were about, to be fair, because they were a bit too mainstream. And then over time, I actually started to play more and more sort of aggressive dance music and techno. I've always played on the tougher end of tech house, but I'd really started to get sort of up there into sort of like the 129 BPM, really chunky, tough sounds. And I played a gig playing full-on techno, and someone mentioned to me, said, what's the go? I like Fusion more when you're playing in that dark mode. And that's where it came from, really. So that was really the transition where I thought, actually, I'd from my trance days and hard house days that I used to enjoy, really sort of wanted to move back to that sound that gets people moving and really tells more of a story than tech house, I think. So actually with the music being able to take people on more of a journey rather than it being more sample orientated as tech house was. And so I just sort of latched onto that really, and that started to influence my style in how I was producing music.
The origin story of dark mode was in Sub Rosa.
Yeah, it was. And I was even, I was being billed as N-Fusion then, and I started getting billed from that point forward as N-Fusion Dark Mode, where people would know, well, this is N-Fusion, but he's not going to be playing the bouncy piano house. He's going to be playing dark, prog, and techno.
And the label also focuses on that more so these days. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, it does. So, yeah, obviously you've got that dark, squelchy, progressive bush techno / sci-tech vibe that they've got going on that's really quite sinister in some of its sounds, I would say, but we kind of love that, to be fair, at Frisson. That's what we're all about. So the sounds that you will hear sort of at most of the Duff festivals across Australia, and it's really starting to spread and emanate out of Australia, it seems. So it feels like it's a sound that's been created here that you're now starting to see pop up in other places as well. So you're now starting to see labels over in the US that are starting to do that sort of stuff. So there's Shadow Wolf that cater for that type of sound, and you've got some of the more darker stuff on Deep Tech LA that are also putting that type of sound out or starting to switch on to it. I absolutely love what Kinemal's doing and the guys are doing there. So it seems like the whole COVID situation with people not being able to travel, obviously, and less gigs, everyone's focused on their sound. And as a result of that, here in Australia, a real uprising of that sound. And now it seems to be branching out into the rest of the world. And you kind of think, as soon as international travel is back, we're going to really struggle to keep a lot of these guys and girls that are producing this music here in Australia, because it's just taking off. And as will they. They'll be off around the world touring because the sound's just getting really, really popular.
So Frisson is kind of been at the centre of that over the past few years?
Yeah, it's been one of many that's been moving in that direction. Frisson's really been on a journey on the last 4 years. And over that period of time, Mark and the guys have really refined the sound, and it really is now very tailored towards that Duff festival type of sound. So have they been at the centre of it? It's definitely been one of many that have been sort of pushing that sound, along with the likes of Basic and Recovery Collective and some of those guys.
So tell me a bit more about Frisson, when it started. Obviously, you mentioned Mark, so just a bit about Frisson now.
Absolutely. Yeah, so Frisson was originally started by Mark Pridmore and his son Kane. So a lot of people will have heard of Kane because he does tour around Australia a fair bit. So yeah, so the label was originally set up 4 years ago because Mark was trying to help his son out and effectively get some of his stuff released because he was fed up with labels not listening to demos. And there are lots of labels out there that still don't listen to demos, and sadly, which took a fair bit. So from a musical genre perspective, we absolutely sort of focus on bush, techno, dark prog, sci-tech, and the sounds that people would typically identify with when you talk about Duff festivals. At the label, we try and encourage creativity, and we encourage artists to step out of their comfort zone and try and produce something that's a bit different from the mainstream labels. Kind of build up the label really off the back of great communication and networking, and really sort of not being one of those labels that becomes sort of arrogant or doesn't respond to people. So always listening to demos, always giving feedback, and giving lesser known artists an opportunity to get their music out there, but then also getting the better known artists the opportunity to really push the boundaries and really strive to be as creative as possible, possibly with things that are a little bit different or off the wall than what they would send to a mainstream label.
So who have you got in your books, and how do you tend to find people to join your label?
Yeah, so we find our artists in lots of different ways, actually. Mark handles the A&R side of things, so he's the creative guy behind the label. Some people send in demos the traditional way, but also Mark does a fair bit of scouting as well. He's not shy at sort of reaching out to artists when maybe he just hears a little snippet of a work in progress. So he'll pick up on something that someone's shared, maybe on social media, and reach out to them. If he thinks that it sounds like a particularly sick track, then he'll just go and contact them and have a conversation and say, hey, send me the finished version when you're done. And over the years, we've built up some pretty solid connections with a group of producers, not only across the globe, but lots of homegrown talent as well, with some super talented producers here in Australia. We've got loads of tracks and remixes that get put out by Common Ground, who's based here in Brisbane, who's super talented and just seems to have the Midas touch when it comes to remixes at the moment, as does Tom Chiller, who most of you will know. I know, Michael, you'll know Tom Chiller because you've had him on the show probably a few months back now. And those guys just seem to have a creative magic when it comes to taking tracks and completely twisting them into something very different. But yeah, there's some ace works that are in the pipeline from those guys. At the moment, we're just compiling a various artists compilation called Osmosis. So we've got a VA that's coming out. The intention is that will land in October. And on that, we've got tracks from a guy called Toffee, who's fairly new to the scene, to be honest. He's released a killer remix of Zen Lily's latest track on Frisson. We've got tracks on there from Tom Chiller, who's curating the piece. So Tom's been working with the label as well, with tracks from a guy called Alba, myself, Dark Mode, and a guy called Automata as well. But there's a fair few more also that you'll find popping into that VA, and it's going to be so sick. I think it's going to be really, really well received.
So what is the plan for Dark Mode? What is the plan for Frisson in 2021, 2022? So maybe start off with yourself. What's the plan?
For Dark Mode, it's super busy at the moment, to be fair. So I've been putting together my track for the VA. Also got a load of bits and pieces that are currently out as demos or that have been signed and coming up over the rest of this year and into next year. I've got an EP that I need to finish off that'll be coming out on Frisson later on in the year, as well as loads of parties. And then on the Frisson front as well, so those guys have had some pretty ace parties. They've brought some serious talent here and shared it with the good folk of Brisbane. So they've brought Emus up here. They've had Muska, Cooney, Hands Down and Lee Boy, Case Kochen. We're just in the process of planning the next one, actually, which is one that's coming up in October. I've literally only just joined the label team, although I've released on Frisson, got a couple of different releases out with Frisson. But yeah, I joined the label team about 2 months ago, and the idea behind that is really that we now start to grow the label, and we've fair few plans around expansion, which I can't really talk about too much just yet because it's still a closely guarded secret. But definitely keep your ear to the ground for news on that, because yeah, absolutely, we're about to push the button on taking the label to the next level.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to hearing about that. So maybe tell us a little bit about the mix we're about to hear. So you're taking over the show and playing a few tracks from the label, right?
Yes, indeed. Yeah. So thanks for having me. It's a real pleasure to put together a recorded mix like this. It's something that I really enjoyed doing. So it's an hour of a journey where you'll hear loads of tracks from Frisson. So you'll hear some of the new unreleased stuff that's coming up on the VA. A couple of unreleased ones from myself as well, scattered in there, as well as some classics. So hopefully I'll get to take you guys on a nice, dark, dirty journey.
Excellent. Thank you, Nathan. And we will show all of the socials on the show page. So please go and check out Frisson, Dark Mode, and Nathan Hallam. Thank you, Nathan.
All good. Thanks for having me. Peace out. Big love.
Deep in the underground, lay down my Cast off the COVID blues and jump on board the Lady Cutler as the warmer months fast approach. Book now for spring and summer cruises aboard the Lady Cutler Melbourne Showboat. And if you book your Christmas party before August 31st, you'll get an early seabird discount. Perfect for weddings, parties, uni events, corporate events and disco cruises, the Lady Cutler is a unique and fun way to get together and enjoy sensational food and inspired beverages. So speak to your friends and put your crew together as the Lady Cutler is ready to board your besties right out front of Marvel Stadium Docklands. For quick quotes, visit ladycutler.com.au or call 0439 31 7070 for that personal touch. The ladycutler.com.au. She's a stunner.
Kiss FM invites you to nominate a Victorian Young Achiever up to 29 for the 7 News Young Achiever Awards. Categories include community service, group achievement, leadership, inspirational TAFE student, environmental sustainability, career achievement, tech visionary, creating change, Indigenous achievement, safety and wellbeing in the workplace, healthy living, online achievement and small business. The 7 News Young Achiever Awards. Category winners receive $2,000 in prizes and a trophy. Check out the 7 News Young Achiever Awards Australian Facebook page or nominate online.
That's that big disco everybody's talking about.
Tune in for some funky disco tunes on the Dance Tour Show on Kiss FM, Dance Music Australia.
Oh my gosh, the music just turns me on.
Turn on between 1:30 and 3 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon for some funky disco tunes on Kiss FM, Dance Music Australia.
This is a shout out to our current members with businesses and all of the KISS clients over the years. I mean, unless you're Jerry Harvey, you can't afford to advertise right now. We get that. Drop us a line. Maybe we could run a promotion. Maybe provide a discount or an offer that I can share with your fellow members. Wholesome marketing. Hit the contact form at kissfm.com.au. Drop us a line.
kissfm.com.au. Dance Music Australia.
Youth Services and Vinyl Vixens DJ Skills program is back. This empowering program for girls and gender diverse young people aged 15 to 25 is held each Wednesday from 4 to 6 at Yarra Youth Services, 156 Napier Street, Fitzroy. Participants learn DJ skills on a wide range of equipment and get advice from incredible artists from the Vinyl Vixens DJ Collective. DJ Skills, Wednesday 4 to 6 during school term at Yarra Youth Services.
Hey, this is Mark Dynamics from Kiss FM's Electronic Show. You know, you can now hear Kiss FM on the iPhone and Android app. It's totally free and guarantees amazing music right in the palm of your hand. Search for it in the app and Play Store. Kiss FM.
Dance Music Australia.
Hi, it's Kate from Kiss. I'm one of the two people in the back end here, and compared to Timmy Byrne, I'm definitely just a 0.5. Everyone you hear on Kiss, i.e. the front end, is actually a member, and a few people listening just like you right now are members too. That's who we are, and you need to know that. We know you love listening to us, and we love beaming out the tunes to you. Help keep the Kiss vibe alive by heading over to kissfm.com.au and sign up. If you want to become a member and pay a little bit more than the standard rates, then email us and we'll be in touch. Thank you in advance for any help that you can afford Kiss.
kissfm.com.au. Dance Music Australia.
thanks again to Dark Mode for his set and for his interview. So if you want to get some more information on Frisson Records or Dark Mode, head over to the show page. And remember, you can always listen back on Kiss FM's Mixcloud or my SoundCloud page. Remember to subscribe to Kiss FM if you love what they're doing. That's me done for this month, but the Illegal DJs will be back same time next week for some house. But I'll see you next month for some more prog and techno. Peace out.
Tune in to Housewives' Choice every Sunday morning from 10:30 to midday.
With your hosts, Miss Fee and Beliaz, as we take you on a version excursion.
Playing the best in reggae, dancehall, roots and culture.
To keep your Sunday session moving in the right direction.
Right here on Kiss FM Australia.
Wanting some good techno karma in your life? Tune in to Karma Club with me, Kara Karma, Tuesdays, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. here on Kiss FM.
Come on, get your techno on. At the Karma Club.
Hey, I'm Miss Gabrielle. Join me every Thursday at midday